Well, it's riot season yet again, folks. There's a few other things I wanted to talk about this week, but I really wanted to get this out because unless you've been living under a rock the last few days, we have been gifted with a supreme example of why it is incumbent upon us as prepared citizens to be armed, trained, and prepared at all times for any kind of civil unrest which may come our way. Because, as I said, unless you've been living under a rock, you may have noticed that there's a little bit of shenanigans going on in LA right now. I believe a couple thousand illegal immigrants and their supporters are waving foreign flags while engaging in violent terrorist activities against both civilians, law enforcement, and federal agencies, who are, by the way, just trying to enforce existing law here in the United States. But I'll get back to that later. And you may have noticed one thing that's missing in all of this. That's right, the police, because true to form, just like they did in 2020, just like they do any other time something actually significant occurs, the police retreated back to their stations and calmly cowered in fear, waiting for the mayor's permission to breathe. It's incumbent upon the civilians and the federal agencies to go out and actually restore order. One may recall 1993 during the, Rodney King riots, when we had the famous roof Koreans. You know, those iconic pictures of these guys with ARs and assorted other small arms sitting on top of the roofs of their businesses or out in front of their businesses and actually doing what needed to be done to defend their livelihoods, their businesses, their ways of life, because a bunch of thugs decided this is a great time to burn cities and loot because, well, name that reason. Well, unfortunately, the roof Koreans aren't coming out this time because California has regulated itself into oblivion and pretty much put self-defense into the realm of utter impossibility and total illegality. But thankfully, many of us, myself included, live in one of the now 29, almost 30 states which have constitutional carry and very, very free self-defense laws. For instance, here in Missouri, we have Stand Your Ground, Make My Day, and Castle Doctrine laws, meaning that pretty much anywhere I'm legally allowed to be and I'm legally allowed to carry, I am 100% within my rights to use force, up to and including deadly force, to defend myself, someone else, my property, or someone else's property against something exactly like what is going on in LA right now. Guys, these examples are something that we really need to pay attention to, because this, again, I'm going to keep repeating this till I'm blue in the face. This is a shining example of why you cannot depend on any kind of law enforcement, especially your local PD. These guys are not paid to defend you. In fact, they have, according to the Supreme Court precedent, no legal responsibility to protect you. They have no legal responsibility to protect you, your life, your property, your loved ones, anyone. They can literally stand there and watch you die like we saw in New York a few months back. This is why it is incumbent upon you, upon us, to be trained, armed, and prepared, and to stay frosty at all times.